My woke friends want to shoot me, a liberal tried to stab me, and do I need to break up with my woke gay boyfriend? We're gonna react to all these horror stories and other voicemails that you guys sent in for this episode of Voicemail Friday on the Brad vs. Everyone podcast, my daily show where we take on the craziest ideas across the internet, our media, and our politics, all from an independent perspective. Now, guys, like I told y'all yesterday, I just moved to Miami. My apartment is still in utter disarray. So this is probably not my long-term shooting or setup, but I just set things up and we are going to roll with it because I'm about to hop on a plane to go to speak at the Aspen Institute's Ideas Festival. And yeah, after being in my new place for like not even 48 hours, I'm already going somewhere and coming back. I'm excited about the event, but not thrilled to be doing that. Anyway, this episode might be a little bit, production quality might be giving a little mid, but we will work on it and improve it for the future. So anyway, we got to talk about some of these voice notes you guys sent in because, as always, y'all have me gagged, riveted, honestly, with some of the stories you tell me and some of the things you've encountered. Let's take a listen to this first one from a person whose woke friends actually suggested they wanted to shoot her over politics. Yeah, take a listen.
Hey, Brad. So I'm in high school, and my friend, she literally told me after Trump got voted, she told me that she wanted to shoot me because I'm
Oh?
right-leaning. And I was so baffled because, first of all, we're in high school. You needed to calm down. I didn't even vote for him. I can't. And second of all, she is so, left-leaning that I would never expect her to go for gun violence. Like, it's so crazy to me that she would say that, even as a joke, because, I didn't even vote for him, and it's just so wild to me.
Well, she sounds lovely and very stable. I mean, you're not the crazy one, babe. I will tell y'all, if y'all send me in delusional ass voicemails and you're the problem, I will tell you. I'll tell you with love, but I will tell you with a little bit of shade if y'all are the problem. In this case, you are not the problem. Even if you were 18 and a senior, and even if you did vote for Trump, that does not matter. It is not okay to say that to someone that you want to shoot them, especially not if that person is your friend. You need to dump this person. Dump her, kick her out of your friend group, whatever. It's not okay to threaten people with violence or suggest they deserve to be harmed just because they disagree with you. That suggests a petty, petulant, and frankly kind of evil mentality of somebody who you can't trust. And if you can't trust somebody, they can't really be a meaningful friend in your life. And of course, the irony is a little ridiculous. Like, seriously, the gun violence of it all is funny. I mean, this stop gun violence, but shoot Trump supporter. I guess this person is also a minor, so maybe we should have a little bit of grace that, like, this is just some undeveloped frontal lobe energy we have going on here. And maybe this person can grow and evolve and realize, and we'll look back with that and with embarrassment and shame. And hopefully, people can change, people can grow. So maybe don't write them off, but I would honestly draw a pretty firm boundary. You can't have people in your life who talk about how you should be shot. Like, that's not a friend. And also, you should consider reporting this to your school because I don't know what the policies are in your school or in your district, but I have to imagine that it is some form of bullying or harassment to tell somebody that they should be shot, and that your guidance counselors or your teachers or administrators at your school might actually have some concerns about that and might speak with this student. And maybe that could be the wake-up call that your friend needs to not act so crazy and so unhinged and so nasty. But my heart goes out to you. You should not have to deal with that, no matter what your political views are, left or right. That's not normal behavior. Thank you for your voice note, and hopefully you can find nicer friends soon. What do you guys think of that one? Let me know in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed if you aren't yet. Do hit that like button as we go, yada yada yada. And remember, guys, to subscribe to my second channel, linked in the description. I'm going to be dropping some reaction videos featuring my mom, which I think will be pretty funny, but they're only going to be on that other channel. So do make sure you're subscribed over there if you aren't yet. Link is in the description. And the link to send in your voicemails, your woke horror stories, your personal life scenarios is also in the description and in the pinned comment. If you want to send one in to be featured in a future episode, potentially, please do check out that link. Up next, more violence, because America is doing amazing, apparently. We just have all these unhinged, violent people out there in these streets. Take a listen to this one, who apparently a liberal tried to stab them. Let's listen.
Hi, I'm a big fan of yours. I love your videos. You helped me learn a lot, actually. I'm very grateful for that. But to get past that, there was this girl that I used to know. We used to be friends, but we've been through a lot of drama lately. Um, she identifies as a trans male now, very liberal, very Democrat. So she tried to bring a knife to school to try and stab multiple of her ex-friends, which was including me. And the staff in the school was aware of the situation, but has not informed parents, students, or has not performed any form of lockdown or anything during what was happening. And I still don't fully know what's going on. I'm only getting information from other students that she has been texting. And from what I know, she was supposed to be in juvenile prison. She's not. She's on parole, I think. And she's supposed to be coming back to the same school that I go to when I'm in my junior year. I am a freshman, by the way. Um, and her grandma lives right next to me, and I saw her not too long ago.
Call the police. This is diabolically unhinged and unsafe. What? I mean, set aside the trans thing, that's like kind of irrelevant. A student threatening to stab y'all is not okay. A student trying to bring a knife to school is not okay. And the fact that this school isn't telling parents is totally not okay. Parents have a right to know this kind of thing if there's a potential threat facing their child at school. And if you ask me, honestly, there's probably a lawsuit in order here. So you guys should go speak with a lawyer. If you're concerned about this person coming back to your school, you should contact the probation officer if you can, or whatever the department is, and try to make them know that this is happening, because you could potentially get their probation revoked and get them sent back to juvie. Regardless, though, I think y'all may well have a lawsuit against the school on your hands, because if everything is as you described it, and that's all I have to go off of, obviously, that's not okay. Like, schools can't just do that. Schools can't just have a literal threat to students and not even notify parents or adequately address it. What is going on? Like, people are not well. I'm getting concerned about some of y'all, and this is making me want to homeschool my future kids. Honestly, like, I went to public schools my whole life. My partner went to private schools, but neither of us were homeschooled. But like, with every passing day, homeschool becomes more attractive of an option, because imagine have trusting administrators who won't even tell you if your kid faces a stabbing attempt. What? Insane. Lawsuit. Up next, let's take a listen to an interesting story about whether it's problematic to prefer a certain gender of doctor.
Hello, Brad. It's Luigi from the UK. Um, no, I did have to see my doctor last week for a checkup, and this is the first doctor I saw in the UK. No, I was given the request for a male doctor because I don't feel comfortable with a female doctor, and the health, the people in the healthcare didn't mind it, but for some odd reason, my friends had an issue with it. Now, when I asked for a male doctor in the United States, in Brazil, and Korea, my friends never had a reaction to it. They just didn't care. But my friends in the UK had an issue with it. They were calling me sexist. They were calling me misogynistic, or saying I don't think saying stuff like I don't think women can't be doctors or something. And it's not really the reason. I just don't feel comfortable with a female doctor. Nah. I just asking, what do you think of it? Like, what should I do about my friends? Because there's just acting very pugnacious with me, acting very rude. I just don't know how to react to it. Thank you.
I mean, not to oversimplify it, but maybe get new friends? Like, these people sound awful. Maybe they're lovely humans outside of this one woke brain rot they've got going on, but You did nothing wrong. And you know what's so interesting? I imagine these people consider them like themselves like woke, like feminist types. Ask them the inverse situation. Ask them, well, would it be okay for a female patient to want a female doctor because they're only comfortable with that? They're not comfortable with a male doctor. I imagine they would say, yes, of course, that's her truth. That's her personal experience informed by trauma, whatever. And I agree, like she should be free to do that. But you can't have that energy and then have it not be the same in reverse. Like, it's also okay for a male to want a male doctor, and it doesn't. It would be actually it would be sexist if what you were saying was women can't be good doctors, so I need a male doctor. But you're not saying that. You're just saying that you personally will be more comfortable with a male doctor. And without going into details, like obviously there are some issues with male health that involve things that your doctor will look at or do that I can understand particularly a heterosexual guy being uncomfortable with a female doctor doing them. Yeah, like that's not weird. That's normal. That's fine. That's valid. And it's very telling that the healthcare experts have no issue with it. Because they know it's valid, but just your woke friends. So honestly, either get new friends or just present it to them calmly the way that I did, flip it to them in the inverse, see what they have to say, and if they can't accept it, draw a boundary and say it's not sexist, it's what I'm comfortable with, and you don't get an opinion. Sorry, not sorry. No one asked. You're not involved in my healthcare decisions, and no thanks. No more conversation about this. And if they can't respect that boundary, they're not very good friends, though it kind of low-key already seems like we know that, but hey, maybe give them a shot to respect your boundaries. But yeah, you did nothing wrong. They sound lame, and yeah, it's totally fine. This kind of thing is normal, very normal in a medical context, particularly. So my heart goes out to y'all, and hopefully you can find friends who are less lame and less annoying, honestly. Up next, we're going to hear from somebody whose coworker, quite specifically and quite openly, hates white women. Let's take a listen.
Hey, Brad. I'm going to say anonymous for this one just because of my line of work and I'm going to quit this job soon. I am filing ethic reports, so I think you'll really like this. My coworker hates white people, and she has said it to my face several times. I am a white woman, and she treats me like crap. But there was one day we had a conversation. I was talking to my other coworker, and she butted in where I said I wanted to go do firearm training so I could get a firearm for protection. And she said that I was lucky and I don't need to get one of those because I'm white. Whereas if her black daughter were to get a gun, the cops would just shoot her for it. She also told me that black people and foreign people should be allowed to shoot and kill white people on sight because the white person was probably going to shoot them first, even if they're unarmed. Just a crazy little tidbit I thought you would want to hear. Thanks, Brad. Love your show. You're great.
Well, thank you for this note and for telling me about this diabolical coworker, because she sounds absolutely unhinged and not super lovely, but it sounds like you're already doing this, so maybe you don't even really need advice from me, but you should be documenting this stuff because one, I mean, if you just document, even if you don't have a recording of it, they should try to record her saying some of this stuff. If you're in a one-party consent state, definitely check your state's laws about recording before you do that. But even if you just document, like send yourself an email every time it happens saying what she said, the fact that you then have that paperwork trail will bolster your case if you file a report or a lawsuit of any kind. Because, like, rest assured, what you're describing is racial harassment in the workplace, and that is illegal. And your employer may be civilly liable for allowing it to happen, but at the very least, you need to report it to your human resources department because you have a right to not be racially abused at work, and you are being racially abused at work. And just because it's against white people doesn't matter. That's still illegal. The law is very clear here. There was even actually a Supreme Court case recently that clarified that reverse discrimination under the law is just discrimination. Can't do that. And this, I mean, this woman sounds deeply unhinged and unwell. So I would just avoid her in the meantime, other than maybe documenting some of this or collecting evidence. And then if your employer fails to address this adequately, you shouldn't have to quit the job. Now, if you want to, like, okay, I hope you find another line of work. Like, that's great. It's your life. But you shouldn't have to quit because someone else is racist to you. In fact, they should be fired. And if your employer isn't going to do that or isn't going to ensure a safe workplace for you, then sue their ass and get that bag. Like, why not? I mean, the same way that a black person would be totally entitled to sue their employer if it was an unsafe work environment where they were being abused for being black. That's not legal, and your employer is responsible for that. So, my heart goes out to you. Crazy that people are actually like this or that they feel so bold to vocalize these thoughts in public. That's kind of wild as well because almost nowhere in America would you ever say that about a black person, and rightfully so, because everybody would look at you and be like, girl, what's wrong with you? But somehow when it's about white people or something, it's different in some social contexts, I guess. But not to me, it's not. And more importantly, to the law, it is not. So I say get yourself a lawyer and get yourself that bag. That's my take. But no matter what you decide to do, hope it works out for you and sending you nothing but the best. Thanks for tuning in to the show and sending your voicemails. Guys, remember to hit that like button if you're enjoying today's episode, comment, subscribe, yada, yada, yada. You can send in your voicemails at the link in the description with your woke horror stories or your personal life scenarios. And now we'll get to our next voice note, which is from somebody who was told they can't dance because they are, in fact, white. A lot of weird anti-white stuff going on this week. Let's take a listen to this one.
Hey, Brad. I'm a loyal listener and subscriber, and thank you for everything that you do. My woke horror story is from when I was in high school about 10 years ago. I grew up in the DC area, so my school system was extremely woke, like since day one. Um, and so when I was in high school, I was in the poetry club, and most of the kids in there were Black or Hispanic, except me. And one of the girls I was closest to in the group, like, she was low income, and my family's always been this way. Like, anytime I had friends who, had struggled financially, even if they were white, like, it didn't matter. We would, leave little gifts on their porch on Christmas, or do what we could to help because we had more money. And so, anyways, I was at a poetry slam, and Kendrick Lamar comes on, and they're all dancing, having fun, and I'm trying to dance with them. And this girl, she looks at me and she goes, no, you can't dance with us. You're white. And I was so humiliated at the time, and I just go and sit down while my friends are dancing. And a few days later, I sent her a message, and I'm just like, that was really hurtful, like, my family and I have always, tried to be there for you and to help you. I don't know why you would treat me like this. And she just goes slamming on me. Get your white savior ass out of here. Stop. I don't care what you've done for me. Blah, 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 blah. It was so mean.
It's the audacity for me that somebody's family helps you and is kind to you, and then you treat them like this. That's so wild. I am really sorry you had to experience that. That was not okay. And you were not the bad guy in that situation. This friend was the bad guy. Let's be so for real about that. Now, totally listen. I used to live in DC. It is like locally an extremely woke city, so it does not surprise me that the schools are like that as well. But it's not okay. I mean, it sounds like you moved on just fine, and this is ancient history at this point. So just like keep it moving. Let this be a crazy story you tell people. But it really is sad because like somewhere Martin Luther King Jr. is rolling over in his grave at this idea of, you can't dance with us, whitey. Sit down. This music is for blacks only. What? That is not the MLK dream of like a society where we all live hand in hand. Some of these like woke, extreme, toxic, progressive ideas about race really are regressive, not progressive. They're like taking us back, not forward. And they're dividing people along racial lines. Like a school should be encouraging people to all get along and be friends and enjoy activities together, regardless of race. Now, I'm not saying the school knew about this or even blessed this, but like the idea that students would be doing this kind of thing, this kind of self-enforced racial segregation is really toxic and it's not okay. I mean, if you were still a student and this had just happened to you, I would encourage you to report it to the school or counselors. Obviously, it's ancient history at this point, so just keep it moving. But, at least you can feel good about it. You can know that you were kind to this person. Your family went out of their way to help her. And the fact that she wasn't grateful for it, okay, sometimes people are going to be ungrateful, but you can sleep well at night knowing that you guys did the right thing and didn't do anything wrong, and you can let the negativity of this kind of just fade into the background and surround yourself with more positive people. But still good that you guys helped her, and no one can take that away from y'all. So thanks for tuning in and sending in the voice note. Okay, guys, one final note for today. This one from a guy who has a question about how to handle his relationship with a woke gay boyfriend.
Hi, Brad. My name is Luke. A few months ago, I met this guy named Lewis, and we really hit it off. I've spent hundreds and hundreds of hours trying to learn his language. I've spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars as well trying to learn his language. I've got an apartment to myself, and moved out of my apartment with my friend because I wanted me and him to be more comfortable and everything. However, I'm a Republican and he is a Democrat, and I can't get him to understand that I am a Republican because I do care about people, and he's a Democrat because he does care about people. There's been many times that he's turned over to me and he's asked me like, "How long have you been racist?" Or he just call me a racist, and you know, I've been telling him for a while now that I have put the effort in learning how to cook his food and learning how to speak his language and making us comfortable, but it's just kind of disheartening that I have done all this and we have great moments and we are great together, but I don't know how to get him to understand that I love him and I love his family and I love his people and I love immigrants, but um I just kind of view immigration policies differently, and it's not racist to think that. Thank you.
Wow. I am so sorry because you sound really sweet. It sounds like you have gone above and beyond for this relationship, and you deserve to have that energy matched in reverse, to have somebody who values you and cherishes you in the same way. And that's why, like, I don't say this lightly, right? Because I watch some advice podcasts where these girly pops, every time they say, dump that man, dump him, whatever, I would never say that lightly because I think relationships are super important and then people are complicated, and that just because there's one flaw or one issue doesn't mean someone's irredeemable. Though in this case, I'm going to say dump that man. Dump him ASAP. Dump him yesterday. He thinks you're racist. He specifically said that to you. That means he thinks you're a bad person. There's no sugarcoating that. And you deserve better than that. You deserve somebody who sees you as fundamentally good, not somebody who sees you as fundamentally bad because you dare disagree with them politically, even though you've demonstrated in your real life, real world actions that you are not racist, that you're not anti-immigrant. You just want maybe a secure border and lawful legal immigration rather than mass illegal migration. Oh, the horror. So basically you hold the immigration position of Barack Obama and Bill Clinton until 5 minutes ago, right? You can go back to 2000 whatever and find both of them saying very similar things to the way that even Trump sometimes talks about immigration now. Now, that's not to say that I necessarily agree with your exact position on immigration, but having a Republican position on that issue does not make a racist. And if your boyfriend can't see that, it's not his. I'm not saying dump him because he's a liberal. No, 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 I'm not saying that at all. Dump him because he's closed minded and judgmental, and because he's treating you cruelly and insulting you in a way that reveals what he really thinks of you, and you deserve so much better. So dump him and get yourself back out there on the market. I know it's not easy, so I can understand not wanting to like leave a relationship that has some good parts to it, because dating, especially as like anyone who's gay, who's right leaning, is hell on earth. But you do really deserve better than this, and I hope you find it. Okay, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in to this Voicemail Friday episode of the Brad versus Everyone podcast. Make sure you're subscribed if you aren't yet. Do hit that like button before you go. Comment with your thoughts. Let me know which one of these voicemails was the most interesting to you. And with that, guys, we will talk again real soon. Oh, I almost forgot. Send in your voicemails. The link in the description or in the pinned comment. And with that, guys, we'll talk again real soon. And maybe I'll have things a little bit more set up for you, but no promises.